it's weird for me to say good morning because I'm currently in the Pacific Ocean in the Solomon Islands, and it's 8 p.m. So I wanted to say good morning to all of you. How many are you already? 9. I hope you're doing well. We will start because already it's been 6 minutes. Since I'm in the Solomon Islands, my internet is not very good. So if it's too bad, then I will transition to Sanjay, if you don't mind. You let me know, Sanjay and Yashika, if you believe it's not good enough, okay?
Yeah, sure.
So this is workshop number 4. And as you've seen, we here to reflect on causality analysis and taking decisions. Again, all that has been incremental. I hope you understood it. Here, the objective of this webinar is to revisit root cause analysis and apply decision-making frameworks to evaluate potential remedial action, to determine remedial actions, and here is the catch, here is new, advocate for consensus building and prepare for final assignment. Why it's been built this way? Because you did the root cause analysis, you know what are the main root causes, and therefore you're able to guess and to find remedial action. This is not the end of the job. The job now, since often you discover that the root cause is actually outside the symptom. Symptom could be warehouse function, and the root cause is in procurement, then there's a need of advocacy. And this workshop is about that, one step forward. We will first ask you if you have any question on module number 5. Number 2, we will then work, we will present, a group will present what they found for the previous. Then number 3, we will walk you through a problem analysis. And then after that, we will explain what is the final assignment. So let's move in Q&A. We have 10 minutes for you guys to ask us questions, to ask us if you didn't understand anything. The floor is yours. Over to you. Any question from anybody about any topic from module number 5?
Also, we understand that not everyone may have reached module 5. So in case you have any other questions from the previous modules, that's also okay. Module 5 is the biggest module of the course, and will take you quite a lot of time to finish it. And you need to understand module 5 very well because it is linked to the final assignment, which we will also discuss today. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask now.
Anybody?
Okay, I guess we can move forward. I mean, if they will have any questions, they can ask later.
Okay. Yes, remember that at the end, there's a little bit of time. But again, please remember that it's supposed to be interactive. And therefore, a webinar is for you to voice or to talk. So it will be ideal. You do. Anybody? Okay. Then we have here an example. The team number 2 submitted their results of the homework of last week. Is there anybody from the group number 2? Over to you, that will be able to read what has been found. Ideally, we would like to talk to Mr. Abubakar Ahmed. But I think he's not part of the participants yet.
No, I think he's here, no? A. Ahmed, I think he's here.
Oh, you're here. Ahmed.
Yes, I'm here.
Excellent. Is
Good
it possible
morning.
for you to take over and then read what you found for this homework?
Okay. So this is the findings from group 2. The problem statement is improper space utilization in the storage area, and which may compromise the optimal storage condition and operational efficiency. So this is the statement problem. So what we identify as symptoms here is the improper space utilization. It's just a symptoms, not a root cause analysis. Yes, root causes. Because the main causes should be maybe there is absence of standard layout space utilization, or lack of regular training by the warehouse staff, and of course poor prioritization of space utilization at the store. The next slide.
Yeah, okay, I'm doing it. Sorry. Yeah.
Yes, so based on the 5 whys analysis, I have a group member here that will assist me in explaining the 5 whys.
Okay.
He is using my STEM mic.
Okay.
So good morning, sir, and good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
So my name is Pharmacist Habiba Ajerima, from a member of Group 2.
Okay.
Yes. So as he said, we identified the root cause, and now we use the 5 whys to solve the problem. So the first why is why is there improper space utilization? Then we conclude that items are placed inefficiently, and there is limited shelving or racking. So the second why is why are items placed inefficiently. Then we say there is no standardized layout or storage plan. So the third why, we say why there is no standardized layout. Then we concluded the facility staff have not been trained or guided on best practices in inventory arrangement.
Okay.
Yes. So the fourth why, we mentioned that why have the staff not been trained? Then we concluded training and supervision in storage best practices are lacking or irregular. So
okay.
Then the fifth one, we say why is it irregular and why training is lacking. So we now explain conclude that storage optimization is not prioritized in the facilities capacity building plan. So I don't know if we stand to be corrected, sir.
Okay, and how you wrote 3 root causes as well? Can you also read them?
Yes. Okay. So our root causes is the number 1 root cause is absence of a standard storage layout or space utilization guide. Then
Okay.
our second root cause is lack of regular training on warehouse management. Then our third root cause is poor prioritization of space management in capacity building plan.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Excellent. Maybe let's take a pause and discuss this before moving on to the next slides, because there are other slides in your homework as well. Pierre, do you want to comment? Are you back?
Yes. I'm sorry, connection is very poor.
Maybe you
Thank you
can
for
remove
proposing that. I think
your
it's
video.
good. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I don't have access to the Can you hear me? Can you go
Yeah.
back?
Okay. Let's go back. Okay.
To listen to me? Can you go back to the picture?
Okay. Go on.
Thank you. So you see, this is the beauty of us being together, is with our background, we see different things. You see poor arrangement as a symptom. Yes, this is definitely clear. Now, others could see something else. I do see boxes are open, so secondary boxes, and you see primary boxes. Secondary cartons are open, and you see primaries in there, the green packs. And if the context is that it's a provincial warehouse, a state warehouse should not be dispensing most of the time packaging. They should be dispensing secondary packaging. If it's the case, then for me, this is why these guys are dispensing packaging as they should be dispensing secondary or tertiary, because they are at a state level. And so a potential root cause is that peripheral level or intermediary level have in the stock replenishment request access to the unit that is primary packaging. And this is plain wrong. They have only access to secondary packaging, so that the state warehouse will have not to open the secondary packaging, they just ship a secondary packaging. That's another problem, that's another symptom to be seen, and another root cause. I don't know if it makes sense to you guys as well. Sanjay, over to you.
Yeah, just wanted to ask if you understood this point, and if you have any clarifications or questions on this, Ahmed and team, or anyone else who's in the workshop. Did you understand this point about the packaging? Okay, any questions about the packaging issue?
What about you, Mr. Abubakar? Do you understand what I mean? Because this is something that we see quite often in countries. Over to you.
Okay, can you come again?
Yeah, okay. So let me explain once again what Pierre was saying. So if you see this image clearly, so there are lots of cartons which are opened, and in some cases we could also see that the secondary boxes of the medicines, they are also probably open, you know. So another problem that we see here is that if this is a if this is a state warehouse, if this is a state level warehouse, then they should not be shipping or they should not be transporting the products in primary packaging. They ideally should be transporting the products in tertiary packaging or at most in secondary packages. But in this case, since we also see all these cartons opened and secondary boxes are also probably opened, there is a finding that the state warehouse may be transporting medicines in the primary packaging, which is not a very good practice. So Ahmed, did you understand this point? So this is not the space utilization problem. This is a different problem altogether.
Oh, okay. So if that is another problem, I think we took the store here as a store that will be serving even the facilities, the primary and secondary healthcare facilities in the state. So there are some facilities that might not be able to take the whole packet that contain the secondary and even the tertiary packaging, which in the sense that maybe the facilities cannot afford to take the whole cartons. So it means it has to be removed from the tertiary packaging and then give them maybe when it is in the secondary or primary packaging. This is one. The second other issue that I can see here is maybe the issue of categorizations. You can see that about 3 cartons were arranged all open, one on top of the other. So that is another issue of categorization. Since you can be able to open the whole 3 cartons, it means it's not the same item that is in the whole 3 cartons. It means it has to be categorized. This is carton 1 containing, let's say, paracetamol. Carton 2, you now label it. That is the reason why we are bringing the issue of the warehousing layout.
Yep, that's correct. That's correct. Pierre, is that okay? Shall we move forward?
Yes, please. And I think you need to take over because my internet connection is not good if you cannot hear me well. Over to you.
Okay, no problem. Now going back to the 5 whys analysis. Now, if we talked when we talked about the problem of improper space utilization, so the 5 whys analysis has been done well. It leads us to some of the key points, which is one about not having a proper storage layout or a space utilization guide. And of course, if that guide does not exist, that means that training does not exist. So these two are interconnected points, eventually, which has been uncovered in this 5 whys analysis. That one, there is what is missing is a proper storage layout and utilization guide, and training on those space utilization. So these are the root causes that could be addressed and eventually leading to addressing the problems and its symptoms. Now I would go back to you, Ahmed and team, and I would like you to explain how you came up with these 3 remedial actions. Ahmed?
Okay. So basically what we now realize in the root causes of that problem, we concluded that there is this issue of space utilization. So the first potential remedial action that we have been able to come up with is the issue of developing and implementing a standard storage layout and space utilization guideline. The second other thing is we understand that there are some gap in understanding the inventory management system of pharmaceutical warehouse. So we concluded that there should be a kind of regular staff training on good storage practice and inventory management practice.
Okay.
We also understand that there are some space on top of the pallets that were not being utilized properly. Yeah, so we concluded that there should be a modular racking, or maybe maximization in shelving space. So this is the reason why we come up with these three potential remedial actions.
Okay. And were you able to organize a pros and cons of these remedial actions based on which you identified your optimal remedial action?
Yeah, so these three pros and cons are trying to address the first three remedial action that we have been able to come up with.
Okay. So
these two,
yeah, go on.
Okay, the first two, the remedial action that should not be considered is the issue of relocating the store to a new facilities. We've seen it as unfeasible due to high cost and potential disruption in services by the store people.
Okay.
And of course, hiring external storage expert on a recurring basis, it will still be unsustainable in the long term.
Okay.
So these pros and cons, they are trying to address the three potential remedial actions that we come up with.
Okay.
Yeah, so the pros that is addressing the first remedial action, the low cost, sustainable, easy to replicate across the facilities. That is the issue of developing and implementations of storage layouts.
Okay.
While the cons here is require initial time investment and supervision. So on the capacity building, we have been able to come up with one process where we said building a long-term capacity improve the overall operations. But the cons here is it requires planning and budget for trainers and materials for the training. For the third one is the process is to maximize the space, will improve the visibility and of course the access to medicines that are being stored at the warehouses or at the storage. The cons here is it requires capital expenditure and may need structural adjustment. Okay.
I have a question for you and for everyone who's listening. You may also ask some questions to this group. I went back to your three remedial actions, Ahmed and team. Now I want to ask you. So, if, for example, when you develop a storage layout and a space utilization guideline, it may ask you to install modular racking and shelving to maximize vertical space. That could be one of the recommendations, right? So, which one would you like to do first? Would you like to develop the storage layout and space utilization guideline, and then eventually you would seek investment for further installations of racking and shelving? Or do you think that so that one is not dependent on the other? I mean, they're not mutually exclusive. What do you think? Because these two remedial actions, they look like that one should come after the other and not replace one another. So what are your thoughts on this, Ahmed?
Okay, so the reason why we put them together is if you just developed a standard storage layout for space utilizations guideline and you have not put the implementations plans for the guideline, I don't think it will solve the problem. There should be an implementation plan for the guideline that you have developed. So this is the reason why we match them together. But we stand to be corrected, sir.
Okay. I think if we only take one remedial action, which is the first one, which is develop and implement a storage layout and space utilization, eventually you may see that the recommendations of this storage layout guideline is to install modular racking and shelving to maximize vertical space. So in reality, your remedial action number 3 um, it actually does not exist because it is part of remedial action number 1 eventually. So uh, in this particular case, I would argue that you do not need to write remedial action number 3. I mean, if you had written here, just like you said, something which was not feasible, which was moving to another warehouse location which has a better space organization, that could be an alternative to number 1. But in this case, remedial action number 3 is not an alternative to point number 1. It is more like part of point number 1. So that is what I would suggest, that you remove remedial action number 3 and add an alternative to remedial action number 1, which could be relocating to a new facility, which you have written here but not on the previous slide, but that is totally fine. But when you start doing your pros and cons, you will have to see that even implementing your new storage layout and space utilization matrix will require a good amount of capital expenditure. So eventually, what you will have to compare against is the cost that is required to redo your internal space in the current warehouse versus the cost and disruption that it will lead to go to a new warehouse location. And that is what you have to compare, because on both sides you have cost and you may have disruption, because when you start reorganizing your warehouse, you have not written it, but it may also cause some sort of disruption. Am I making sense, Ahmed and team? Ahmed?
Yes, so we are going to match the 1 and 3 because the 3, as explained, is it will be part of the guidelines for good storage practice.
Yeah.
So we'll merge it with the 1.
But do you understand that there will be disruption in both cases? If you initiate an implementation for reorganization, there will be disruption, and relocating to a new facility will also cause disruption. So eventually you will have to select which one causes less disruption and which one utilizes less money. So that is where you have to do a comparative analysis against for these solutions or remedial actions that you're coming up with. So this exercise helps you to understand, even if you have to go in more details, that how would you compare each of these remedial actions. Okay, anyone else who wants to provide any other points to this situation, any other opinions to this situation? Because I'm only talking to Ahmed, no one else is contributing. Anyone who would like to contribute to that homework, if you have done it or while you were listening to this discussion? And then finally, Ahmed, I want you to explain how did you come up with this optimal remedial action? Thank you, Zainab.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Please, I have a question for Ahmed.
Yeah.
After the explanation of the 5 whys, I can see that we have some pros and cons. So please, my question is, these pros and cons, are they further explaining how the root cause can be solved? Or is it still fishing out the symptoms so that we can easily find the root cause of the particular issue of poor warehousing?
Okay, before Ahmed, you answer this, Zainab, let me go take you through the process again because you may have missed it initially. So we went through the root causing we came up with certain root causes which are written here. So these are the root causes that you see on this slide at the bottom. Now, based on these root causes, they have created three remedial actions. So these are remedial actions, like solutions to those root causes. Okay. So the
Okay.
main root cause that came up is that there is a requirement, or there is an absence of absence of a proper storage allocation or space optimization guideline. So that was the root cause. Now, to address that root cause, the remedial action is to develop and implement a standard storage layout and a space utilization guideline. They also came up with some other remedial actions. So this pros and cons is to compare these remedial actions. Because if you remember from the previous workshop, we said that there could be different kinds of solutions to a problem. So how do you identify which solution is the best for you? So this is now the activity for you to identify which solution works the best. So you need to compare your remedial action. You need to compare your solutions. So this is what they have done using a pros and cons analysis. That okay, what are the some pros of remedial action number one, remedial action number two, and remedial action number three? And same way, what are some of the cons for those three remedial actions? So based on this, then they will explain now how did they come to the optimal remedial action. Okay, Ahmed, over to you to also explain, also address Zainab's question, and explain how did you come to this optimal remedial action.
Okay, so basically, if we have been able to have a standard guide, storage layouts and space utilization guideline, and we have been able to implement that, we should be able to address the issue that was observed here on this picture. So the rationale for having that is, we said it is the most cost-effective, scalable, and sustainable solution in addressing the root cause by standardizing space utilization, and can be accompanied by on-site orientation without requiring intensive training budget. So this is the reason why we come up with this as the optimal remedial actions. Thank you. And Oba, I don't know if anybody from our group will add something to it. Thank you. And Oba.
Thank you, Ahmed. Any further questions? Also, Zainab, did that answer your query?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions from anyone? Anyone wants to question Ahmed and team? Okay, it seems everything is clear. So first of all, let's sorry, yeah, let's clap for Ahmed's group. You have in successive weeks, you have completed the homework and presented. So that's very good. We hope that everyone else, you have also gone through these homeworks, because these are important. This is the practice that you need to understand how you can utilize this comprehensive method in your daily work. Because if you don't do practice, after a point in time, you will forget what you had learned, and how would you apply this in your real world. The reason why we are using images and issues from your own workplace is because that helps you internalize this method. It helps you understand how, once this course is finished, you can look around, see what problems you, your team members, your department are facing, and then try to identify the root causes and the remedial actions yourselves, and not depend on someone who is, flown in from another country to come and assess your workplace. You yourself should be fully equipped to do that. Okay. Now, again, I will pause for 10 seconds. If there are any other questions, please send them our way, or otherwise we will just go through a quick another example, and then finally we will take a look into the final assignment, which is very important for you to get certified. So any questions? I will pause for 10 seconds. Okay, so since there are no other questions, let's go through this image. This is this looks like a fantastic innovation, so of some sorts, where I see a cold box being it's sitting on the passenger seat of a vehicle, and I believe it has been fastened properly with labels and stuff. I mean, we can try to see certain problems here, and what kind of symptoms do you see, and what do you think could be the causes and root cause for this problem or the set of symptoms that you see here. So anyone would like to take a crack? See if you see any problem here. And this vehicle could be an ambulance. This vehicle could be a pickup truck. I mean, if we are not very sure, but what we could see is that a cold box has been properly fastened, and I think it's also properly locked as well. So anyone who would like to contribute to the questions on screen? Okay, anyone? Dauda, Fatima, Habiba, Hassan, Muhammad Ibrahim, Muhammad Usman, I mean, Baba Gana, Ilya, anyone, because, and Aliu, we have spoken to Ahmad for a long while. So I guess any one of you can chip in now. Okay, no comments. Um, okay, let me give you a few more pointers. Well, this could be an innovative solution, or this could be a non-compliance issue. I mean, depending on how you look at it. I mean, if you look at it as an innovative solution, for example, maybe this is an ambulance, and they wanted uh, an emergency shipment of certain vaccines and cold chain products to a facility. And since the back of the ambulance is full and there is no space, so they created the space for the cold box and made sure that it is fastened properly so that it does not move when the vehicle is moving, and the contents inside the cold box, they remain in the correct situation, in the correct temperature conditions. So that could be an innovative solution, and in that case there is no problem, because the products which are inside the cold box are kept in the right condition until they reach the facility where they're required. Now, that is one way of looking at it. The second way of looking at it is that this is also a non-compliance. Ideally, cold boxes should not be transported like this. They should be transported, properly, in a vehicle, like a transport vehicle. I mean, this does not look like a transport vehicle. This looks like something else. So if we look at it from that perspective, then this is a non-compliance. and probably the problem here is non-availability of transport vehicles, because the symptom that we are seeing is that cold boxes are transported in the passenger seat. So that means that there is a non-availability of vehicles, which may be because of poor transport planning, which could also be because of poor budgeting, or overall poor supply planning. So there could be various causes of this situation. Root cause probably would be a lack of proper distribution planning or a supply planning. Because if you do a proper distribution planning, then you would know what kind of vehicles are needed, and hence you can plan for it, over a long period of time. But on the other hand, if we say that this is an innovative solution for emergency purposes, then you can say that there are no problems. Okay. So if we go through the slides, then you can see that temperature monitoring is accessible, temperature is stable, while you can say that the space in that vehicle has been utilized. I mean, it's questionable. Okay. So all these points you need to think about when you need to understand whether something is a problem or not. I mean, in this case, the slide says that there is no visible problem. I mean, that of course, with the context that this was an emergency situation. But if it is not an emergency situation, then of course, this is a big problem. This is a problem that is linked to poor distribution planning. Okay. So sometimes when we see something, uh, context is very important. If the the context, depending on the context, something can be a problem or something may be an innovative solution. It really depends on the context. So whenever you look at something, you identify something, try to find the context behind it. And the context will also guide you whether something is a problem or not, and whether you need to diagnose the causes behind that problem and the set of symptoms that you see associated to that problem. Okay. So it's very important. That's why we are showing you these strange cases during the classroom sessions, which you won't find in the course. In the course, the examples that you are seeing, they are very straightforward. So you will be able to figure out whether something is a problem or not. But in this live sessions, we are showing you certain pictures where it is a bit difficult to figure out whether something is a problem or not, because it really depends on the context. Okay. Before I move on to the course assignment, any questions about this particular case, or anything else that you may have in your mind? I will pause for 10 seconds before moving to the assignment. Okay. So no questions. Let's move to the assignment. So this assignment is there after module 5. For you to receive the CPD certificate, you need to finish this assignment properly, because this assignment will be checked. You cannot just upload anything. Huh? They will be checked, and only then you will receive your certificate. Okay. And there is one more workshop session, which the date of which we will send you soon. During that workshop, we will ask some participants to present their assignments as well. Of course, they will be informed in advance so that they can prepare. But we will select some of the best assignments, and they will be presented during the workshop for everyone to see, so that if by that time you have not completed your assignments, you can then go ahead and quickly complete those. But ideally, we hope that by the time we do the next workshop, all of you have completed your completed your assignments. Okay. So what do you have to do in this assignment? Maybe Yeah. Yeah, okay. So it provides you the stepwise completion. So step one, you have to state a real supply chain problem from your workplace. And now this could include an image. This could include a statement. Better would be if it has an image as well. Okay, because sometimes if you just put a statement, we don't know whether it is a real problem or not. With an image, then you are making sure that okay, this is a real problem. Okay, once you showcase that problem with an image, then you use the templates which has been provided to you. You have been given a 5 whys template and you have been given a fishbone diagram template as well. So you're given 2 templates. So using both the templates, and you can also use the Pareto template that we explained in workshop number 3 to identify your list of causes and your eventual root cause. So the first step is to do a root cause analysis. So you are given templates, you use those templates and identify the root cause. So that's your step number 2. Then step number 3 is that you need to use the decision tree matrix. So decision tree matrix is this one. So if we go back, this one. Yashika, can you zoom this slide? I think there is a method to zoom this. Yes. Yeah. Zoom it. Yes. Excellent. Yeah. Now go up. Yeah. So if you see this decision tree template, it gives you a full snapshot of the entire root cause process. Okay. So you start with your problem. Okay. The symptoms of the problem, then intermediary causes, root cause. Then once you identify the root cause, what could be 5 remedial actions, possible remedial actions? Then you scroll down, Yashika. Yeah. Now, once you identify your potential remedial actions, then you decide which remedial actions should not be considered and why. And then you can do pros and cons of each of the remedial actions, based on which you select the optimal remedial action, and you need to also explain why you have chosen it. So this is the entire decision tree matrix, which helps you go from a problem to its solution. And I think there is nothing else after 6, right, Yashika? 6th is the last. Yeah, there is 7th as well. Yes, 7th point is also very important. So once you have selected a remedial action, your final remedial action, you need to also state certain conditions, which should be present so that your remedial action will work. Because sometimes your remedial action or a solution could be very good, but maybe you don't have the right environment or the conditions for that solution to work. So you need to list those conditions as well for your remedial action to work. So this decision tree matrix is part of the course. You have been given the template as well in the final assignment. You need to fill this entire decision tree matrix. So we are moving forward with step number 3. Step number 3 is using the decision tree template, identify your optimal remedial action. So that is your step number 3. Then step number 4, present all this in the set of slides, which is for which a template is provided. So now all that you have done, you identified a problem, you have done root causing, you have filled your decision tree. So now use that information to fill the PowerPoint template which has been provided to you. That is the step number 4. And then finally, upload that PowerPoint in this upload box that is provided to you. So this is the end of the assignment. So in this assignment, you will demonstrate the entire root cause process that you have learned, the decision tree matrix that have been given to you. Using that, you will demonstrate, and you will demonstrate creating a PowerPoint using this information. Because imagine if you have to present this to your executive committee, that you see this is the problem that we are seeing. These are the root causes, and this is how we solve it. This is how we address it. So we are also equipping you with the template of PowerPoint using which you can present this to any executive committee. So this is the assignment which you will have to submit. In module 5, there is another lesson about action planning. We have not given it intentionally in the assignment because that will become very long. But generally, once you have identified a remedial action, you also need to create a plan for it. But if you go to module 5, those documents are also there. You can use those templates as well. So once you upload your PowerPoints here, we will download all your submissions. We will review them, and you will only be given the certificate if your submission is satisfactory. You cannot submit an empty PowerPoint, or you cannot submit the PowerPoint without the right information. If you do that, then those will not be accepted, and eventually you will not be given the certificate. So make sure you do this right, you do this well. You can also do this in small groups and then mention in your PowerPoint which all people, at max 4 people together, not more than 4. Whoever 4 people contributed to that PowerPoint, you can write their names, but each individual will have to submit that. It will be the same PowerPoint with the names of all those 4 people, maximum 4 people, and then you can submit it one by one through your own accounts so that we know that each one of you have worked on it. Is there any question about completing the final assignment? Any questions about the final assignment? I know a few people probably have already finished it, but please take a look at it again. If your PowerPoint, has all the information, you can resubmit it. You have time, but it has to be done well, and it has to be done as per real problems. Okay, the problems that you're seeing in your workplace today. Okay, any questions about the assignment? Okay. All right. So this is the final Q&A. I mean, if there are no other questions, then we will close the workshop in the next 2 minutes. I would like to again congratulate Ahmed and team to prepare the homework. It was very good, very practical, and I hope you are learning this comprehensively so that you can apply this in your real workplace. If you have any questions about the assignment or anything else, you have 2 minutes. I will take a pause. Also, Yashika, share the recording so that everyone has the recording about the final assignment. Make sure when you share the recording, you mention specifically that it has instructions about the final assignment so that people can view it and understand.
Sure.
Okay. Okay, there doesn't seem to be any further questions. So I would like to thank everyone for joining today. Yeah, Ahmed, do you have any questions? Sorry.
Yes, I have.
Okay.
And this issue of sending the recordings, we are yet to receive any recording from your end. And
Okay.
for specifically for this one, there is there are a lot of discussions that that has to do with the final assessment. And
Sure.
some of us were busy and some were not been able to grasp everything at once. We needed to have this recording, even for this session, for this
Sure.
morning. We really wanted to have that recording so that it will guide us to be able to finish the final assessment.
Sure, no problem. So except one session, which we could not record for some logistical issues, I think we have recordings for the other 3. So Yashika, please make sure you have all the 3 recordings. You put them on our YouTube channel and then share the link with everyone. All the 3 recordings that we have, you share with everyone again this week, so that people can view it again. And if they want to, recollect anything, they can do that. But make sure this goes this week. Okay.
Sure, sure.
Okay. Any other questions, anyone? Okay, so I would like to thank everyone for joining today, and you are at the last stage of this course. Yashika will keep on reminding you about your progress, and if you have any clarifications, you can reach out to Yashika or myself. My email is there in the group email that we are using, or you can always reach out to Yashika, and Yashika and I work together, so we will know how to resolve anything. Okay. So thank you so much. And thank you, Yashika, for organizing it. Please make sure the recordings and PowerPoints, everyone receive them. And we will get back to you with the date of the final workshop soon. We want to organize it when a majority of you have completed your final assignments, because that workshop is about presenting those assignments only. Okay. So with that, thank you so much. Have a good day and a good week. And we will meet you one final time very soon. Bye.